Rajiv Gandhi, accompanied by the then Home Minister Butta Singh, went to a highly respected saint, Devraha Baba, to seek his opinion and even blessings for the Shilanyas. And Devraha Baba tells Rajiv Gandhi, "Bacha, ye hone do." Let this happen. And thereafter the Shilanyas takes place.
Pseudo-seculars should answer that question. And I think there's also a pseudo-nationalism that's going on in this country. To my mind, Rajdeep, what is happening on the 22nd has nothing to do with Maryada, has nothing to do with Astha, has nothing to do with Dharma. मान जाओ नहीं तो एंटी हिंदू कहलाओगे ऐसे रिकंसिलिएशन के लिए कर रहा हूं व्हाट काइंड ऑफ रिकंसिलिएशन इज दिस एंटी हिंदू इज शंकराचार्य एंटी हिंदू अगर आओगे तो बहुत अच्छी बात है नहीं आओगे तो एंटी हिंदू
Don't use this as a symbol of your arrogance of power. Can any political party in the country really take the high moral ground on this vision of Nehruvian secularism? Equal opportunity, mutual respect for all faiths. You, Sudhindra Kulkarni, first, because you've been someone who's worked closely in the past with L.K. Advani, identified with the Ram Janmabhoomi movement. Do you believe if Mr. Advani was able to be on the show, he would be celebrating today what's happened? Do you believe that this is an occasion to celebrate at the end of the day the fact that a Ram Mandir is finally being built?
You know, not just the BJP celebrating it, but the entire nation should celebrate the fact that finally Ram Mandir has been rebuilt at what is believed to be the birthplace of Ram. The path that the country has taken to come to this point has not been very pleasant. All of us know that a lot of violence has taken place, a lot of controversies have taken place, but whatever be it, after the court decision, the Ram Mandir has been built. And Ram, I believe, and crores of Hindus believe, and many Muslims also believe, that Ram is a symbol of the idea of India. And therefore, the temple's inauguration should be an occasion for celebration. Also a matter of introspection by all, because all have made mistakes. Let me begin with the mistakes the BJP is committing, the government is committing. The Congress is right in saying that it has become a BJP RSS event. The opening has been advanced to January 22 with an eye on the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections, and the temple itself is still incomplete. These are valid points. But let's look at the Congress party's own mistakes. Rajdeep, the history of the Congress party's engagement with the Ayodhya movement shows how inconsistent and in some ways unprincipled it has been. In fact, the Congress should have taken credit for much of what has happened, what has contributed to the temple coming up today. Let's only look at the landmarks of the history of the movement since independence. 1949, the idols were placed in what Hindus believe was a temple earlier. Who was the chief minister at that time? The Congress chief minister, Govind Vallabh Pant. 1986, the doors of the mosque or what is considered temple were unlocked. Who was the prime minister? Rajiv Gandhi. Who was the chief minister? Veer Bahadur Singh of the Congress. 1989, Veer Bahadur Singh. 1989, a Shilanyas, the first Shilanyas takes place with the blessings of the prime minister Rajiv Gandhi. And before he sort of consented to Shilanyas, a very interesting incident took place. Rajiv Gandhi, accompanied by the then Home Minister Butta Singh, went to a highly respected saint, Devraha Baba, to seek his opinion and even blessings for the Shilanyas. And Devraha Baba tells Rajiv Gandhi, "Bacha, ye hone do." Let this happen. And thereafter the Shilanyas takes place. Thereafter Rajiv Gandhi opens his election campaign 1989 from Ayodhya and promises Ram Rajya if elected back to power. Now let's come to the most recent developments. The Uttar Pradesh chief of the Congress party and the Uttar Pradesh Prabhari of the Congress party, Ajay Rai and Avinash Pandey, have both declared on the 15th of January, they'll go and take a dip in Saryu River and take the darshan of the temple. The Congress party saying this. Now I wish, Rajdeep, that just as you have interviewed Digvijay Singh ji, you should also interview Priyanka Gandhi. Because Priyanka Gandhi, on the 4th of August 2020, a day before the groundbreaking ceremony for the temple reconstruction happened, she gave a statement in which she says that Ram sabke hai, let this ceremony promote national unity, brotherhood and cultural confluence by Lord Ram's grace. और हिंदी में उन्होंने जो कहा है, राम साहस है, राम संगम है, राम संयम है। मैं एक बात बताना चाहता हूं, आखिर में वो कहती है कि सब मिलकर इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाएं। तो ये ग्राउंड ब्रेकिंग सेरेमनी में एक कांग्रेस पार्टी ये कह सकती है, तो जब ये अब प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो रही है, when the temple is being inaugurated, of course the BJP is guilty of certain things.
So you're saying
Nevertheless,
the
Congress
BJP
should have come
let-
forward.
No, I take your point. You're saying the BJP is guilty of turning it into a political event. The Congress is guilty of not reaching out and joining in what you claim is a moment to celebrate. Am I correct? That's what you're essentially saying. Both sides have made mistakes in a way.
A moment to a moment not just to celebrate, but a moment also to introspect. Rajdeep.
Okay.
Because if we all believe Ram is a symbol of unity, and this is a time to reunite the nation across social fault lines, political fault lines, and nobody should take political advantage of Ram.
I'll come to the question of how to achieve
And let me tell you
reconciliation. Just a
that
minute.
if Golwalkar, just one final point,
Yes.
if Golwalkar were the RSS chief today, he would not have allowed this event to be politicized for electoral purposes the way the BJP is doing today. If Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji were the Prime Minister, this would not have happened. He would have taken the entire country along.
That's a huge statement that you've just made, which Rakesh Sinha, you need to respond. Sudhindra Kulkarni worked closely with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He's saying that if Vajpayee was alive, he would have made sure this was not a political event. He would have, of only the BJP, he would have taken everyone along with him. How do you respond to what you've heard? Sudhindra has also pointed out to Congress's mistakes.
It is his assumption. His assumption is not the gospel truth. And I think that what this government is doing is trying to create an atmosphere where entire country should come together and rejoice in the inauguration of the Ram Temple. You just see that every senior political leader has been invited. If you are not accepting the invitation, if you are not joining the Ram Temple movement, they have not joined the Ram Temple movement. They rejected the Ram Temple. They stood for the Babri Mosque. When the judgment came, they accepted it in compulsion. Acceptance by compulsion, acceptance by voluntarily acceptance. There is no passion when accepting the judgment. Therefore, I consider that these parties' DNA is anti-Hindu. They are trying to de-Hinduize India. And de-Hinduize India can never be a complete identity of India.
But how do you respond to what Sudhindra ji, you're saying Congress is trying to de-Hinduize India. How do you respond to what Sudhindra ji is saying? That this is being turned into a political event when it should actually be, in a way, a moment to bring people together in a spirit of reconciliation, cutting across political, social, cultural fault lines.
You know, BJP is a political party. And as a political party supported the Ram Temple led by Vishnu Person and his Hindu sons, Hindu Dhan sons. And no other party came to support except that time Shiv Sena, which now became they have de-Hinduized themselves by accepting the UPAs and this India Gathbandhan's politics and the split. What I am trying to tell that after BJP supporting, BJP has never thought in terms of the power. Because he sacrificed 5 governments in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and several states on the question of that structure. Who stopped these parties to support? They are not accepting Bhagwan Ram as a part of India's identity. What Ram Manohar Lohia accepted, RJD is not accepting. What Ram Manohar Lohia defined Bhagwan Ram, they say that yes, Ram is part of Indian identity. Ram is everywhere except Ayodhya. This tradition of Indian tradition should be accepted by these political parties. But pseudo-secularism, they don't allow them. Ask these pseudo-seculars. What happened in Mizoram? When Congress party and all other parties and their intellectual allies outside the party system, they don't object what they do in Mizoram. They get guidance from the church. Here question is that there is a thin line between religion and culture. Indian tradition, Bhagwan Ram is accepted Maryada Purushottam. He's a Raja Ram where there's a Rajdhan. It has been well defined. And their intellectual allies, most of them are semi-left and semi-Nehruvians. They are trying to push the country where there is no Hindu symbol, Hindu tradition, Hindu civilization, Hindu legacy. That's why the Indian party system is divided between the BJP and non-BJP party. BJP stand is civilizational-based stand. They are standing power-based stand. They see in the constitution of the war how the Muslim can be appeased. They consider that if they would boycott, they can win the Muslim vote in the coming election.
Okay, we'll come to that Muslim question also, but Yogendra Yadav, you heard Rakesh Sinha. He's saying the pseudo-seculars have not fully accepted the idea of Ram as integral to cultural nationalism, hence their antipathy towards this entire ceremony.
Pseudo-seculars should answer that question. And I think there's also a pseudo-nationalism that's going on in this country. We can one day debate that as well. To my mind, Rajdeep, what is happening on the 22nd has nothing to do with Maryada, has nothing to do with Astha, has nothing to do with Dharma. There are 4 questions that I want to raise. First is a question of ritual etiquette. I'm no fan of Shankaracharyas, and I do not approve of whatever they say, but they do know a thing or two about Hinduism, I guess so. And they are saying, and many of Hindu seers are saying, that this is neither the occasion nor the correct timing, and they are openly saying that all this is being done only to suit the electoral calendar. Then there is a question of legal propriety. Yes, the Supreme Court has given the orders, and yes, it is perfectly legal to build that temple, but Supreme Court also said clearly that the trust should be non-political. Rajdeep, you know public life, everyone knows public life. Is this trust behaving in a way which is non-political? Third, there is a question of constitutional morality. Yes, crores of Indians believe in Lord Rama, and in fact, I agree, many non-Hindus also believe in Lord Rama, And yes, I do believe that figures like Lord Rama are deep cultural civilizational figures of Maryada Purushottam. Constitution of India allows everyone to express this, allows that temple to be built or any such thing. But is it correct for constitutional functionaries in their capacity as constitutional functionary to do it? As individual citizen, Shri Narendra Modi is absolutely entitled to going there. Sonia Gandhi can go there, anyone else can go there as citizen in their capacity, in their faith. But for them to go there as prime minister or as leader of opposition or as governor.
The question you're saying is you're seeing politics being entwined with religion. That's your problem. Am I correct? That you believe what should be a spiritual ceremony has been converted into a political event. And that is against the constitution, against the court
And
order.
that is the last point that I wanted to make, Rajdeep. This is all in the spirit of Lord Rama. And while my friend Rakesh Sinha remembers Ram Manohar Lohia, and thank you for remembering it. थोड़ा उनका पढ़ भी लीजिएगा. हिंदू बनाम हिंदू बहुत famous उनका essay है. I'm sure Rakesh ji has read it. And basically that essay says that when Hindus are open, when Hindus are tolerant, India grows. But whenever Hinduism goes through phases of fanaticism like it's going today, India suffers, India declines. So I'm sure they would remember Ram Manohar Lohia. But the most important thing, Rajdeep, is not Ram Manohar Lohia. The most important thing is the Lord in whose name all this is being done. Maryada Purushottam. What would Lord Rama would have said about this temple being built into in his memory, in his grace? If you look at Lord Rama, if you look at what he says, when he's being thrown out of Ayodhya, sent out for 14 years, what does he say? कि अगर मर्यादा तोड़ के मुझे अयोध्या तो छोड़िए, मुझे 7 लोक का राज भी मिल जाए तो मैं नहीं लूंगा. That Lord Rama would have said कि ये मंदिर मेरा मंदिर नहीं है जिस तरीके से तुम लोग बना रहे हो. Do remember Tagore? Tagore has this very famous poem about a saint and a king. When the king has built this huge temple and invites a saint, Dina, invites a saint, and saint says, but God doesn't live in this temple. The king is very angry. मैंने इतना किया, इतनी मुद्रा डाली, इतना पैसा डाला, स्वर्ण डाला. And the saint says, ये तुम्हारे अहंकार की बिल्डिंग है, ये भगवान की बिल्डिंग नहीं है. Unfortunately, the manner in which this whole thing is being politicized, that runs the risk of reducing such a beautiful moment into a petty moment of political point scoring. And that is very, very sad. What we are being told, ये सब की just एक आखिरी बात हमसे कहा जा रहा है, reconciliation, सबको साथ आना चाहिए. गिरेबान पकड़ के reconciliation, मान जाओ, नहीं तो एंटी हिंदू कहलाओगे. वैसे reconciliation के लिए कर रहा हूं. What kind of a reconciliation is this? एंटी हिंदू इस शंकराचार्य एंटी हिंदू. अगर आओगे तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, नहीं आओगे तो एंटी हिंदू. मैं reconciliation कर रहा हूं. I mean, isn't it a joke?
Tell me, how do you achieve reconciliation? You start, Rakesh Sinha. Because there's a sense that reconciliation is a major challenge in the times in which we live. Given the history, the bloody history. I was in Mumbai when the riots took place following the demolition of Babri Masjid. I have seen scenes that frankly still haunt me. So I want to know, how do you achieve reconciliation? Hindu-Muslim unity, political unity. If Ram is a unifier, how do we ensure that Ram unifies Indians?
You know, the construction of Ram temple is not against any community. It is a regaining of India's identity, cultural identity. I don't know when Bhagwan Ram came and said Yogendra ji that this temple mere answar nahi ban raha, main nahi rahunga. I don't know. And these pseudo-secular people oppose anyhow by sometimes quoting Shankaracharya ji, sometimes quoting the scriptures, sometimes quoting the minority books. So
he's quoting Tagore and saying Tagore said that don't use this as a symbol of your arrogance of power. I'm asking you, sir, my limited point. How do you achieve reconciliation? How do you achieve reconciliation in a polarized society with a Ram temple? How do you achieve it?
Muslims are not opposing the construction of Ram temple. They are political contractors. जिसको कहते हैं राजनीतिक ठेकेदार. They are trying to provoke Muslim community that construction of Ram temple is politicized. How is it being politicized? Anyone in the party system will be the prime minister. He would belong to a particular political party. So this question is illegitimate question that it is politicized. Prime minister is a prime minister. He is going to next.
Do you believe that now that the temple is being built, that is still the way forward to have some kind of a interfaith dialogue possibly on these issues?
You know, before I come to this, I just want to give one important fact, that it is not just the Vishwa Hindu Parishad that has been spearheading this movement. In fact, even before the VHP came into the picture, it was the Congress party. And one of its most famous leaders, Gulzari Lal Nanda, who became interim Prime Minister of India on 2 occasions, he had been associated with the Ayodhya movement, Ram Temple movement, even before the VHP came into the picture. And that's why I'm saying that today the Congress is presenting a split personality. Instead of taking credit for what it has done, it has become apologetic. That's one point. Secondly, the trust as well as the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister is going there as the Prime Minister of India and not as a BJP leader. Even now, every effort should be made to bring the Shankaracharyas around, every effort should be made to bring all the political parties around, including prominent Muslim leaders, and thereafter, this issue should not be used by any party for political electoral purposes at all.
Okay.
Ram has the potential, Ram has the power to unite the nation, to unite our society. Now is the time. Let's leave history behind, come together, reunite the nation, re-harmonize our society.
How do you do that, Yogendra Yadav? A quick final minute. How do you do that? Sudhindra Kulkarni is right. You can use an occasion like this, possibly some believe, to keep the politics aside and bring communities together. Is that possible, or is he being an idealistic, a dreamer?
We should be idealists, we should be dreamers, we should dream of an India where people are not at each other's throat, we should dream of an India where every Indian can live in harmony with each other. This problem will not be addressed merely by these dreams, because the problem originates in politics, has to be tackled politically. I agree with Sudhinji, this is a moment for reflection. We should connect to people, and if there's one resolution that can be taken for reconciliation, allow me to propose it. On this 22nd January, can this country take those who believe in Lord Rama, those who believe in Maryada, can they take just one resolution? That no Ram Navami procession shall ever be used for intimidation, for violence, for threatening. That would be a beautiful thing that this country can cherish.
I just want to say what Jawaharlal Nehru said about secularism, the much derided Nehru in 1960. We talk about a secular state in India. It is perhaps not very easy even to find a good word in Hindi for secular. Some people think it means something opposed to religion. That obviously is not correct. What it means is that a state which honors all faiths equally and gives them equal opportunities. Can any political party in the country really take the high moral ground on this vision of Nehruvian secularism? Equal opportunity, mutual respect for all faiths. That's how you can build, in my view, a better India.
शाबाश बेटा, बहुत बढ़िया।
अब बताइए मैं क्या करूंगा?
एक बहुत सिंपल सी टिप आपके साथ शेयर करती हूँ। अपने हाथ को इस तरह से रखिए। If you look at this from your side, आपका लेफ्ट हैंड आपको बी के जैसे दिखेगा और राइट हैंड आपको डी के जैसे दिखेगा। बी एंड डी। बी फॉर
थोड़ी मदद रखिए।
वे मैं थो तेरा मन पर